This is episode number 13, How to Shift the Script from Expectation to Appreciation. Welcome to Alive by Design. My name is Blake Mallon, and we're here to bring you inspiring people, principles, and practices to help you wake up, move toward your meant to, and feel fully alive. Open your mind and let's dive in. Hey guys, before you listen to the podcast, I just want to drop in and say I appreciate you for being here, and I'm super excited about this new Walk With Me series. These are solo episodes where I take some time in the middle of my morning run through the Santa Monica Mountains to share some inspired ideas and thoughts on my mind and heart. If you want to join me for any of these conversations live, you can catch me many mornings on my Facebook page, facebook.com/blakemallon.page. Would love to see you there. Love you guys. Enjoy the episode. Walk with me for a few minutes. I got a question for you. Is it just me? Or are we way too hard on ourselves these days? I meet so many people that I'm close to that I feel like they feel that no matter what they do, no matter how hard they give it, no matter how much they bring to the table in different directions of their life, they feel like it's just not enough. Any of you guys ever feel that way? And it might apply to our work. I know we put a lot of our time, a lot of our energy into our livelihood, our careers. You ever feel like no matter how hard you try, no matter how much time you put in, no matter how much effort you give it, you feel like you're just not cutting it? You feel like it's just not good enough? You feel like you need to do better? Even outside of work, I mean, it could be relationships, right? No matter how much time and energy maybe you give to somebody, it just doesn't feel enough. Or maybe even as parents, we're getting, challenged right now with the dynamics of quarantine and homeschooling and having to maybe fall into roles that as parents we've never had to do before. And I know many of us are giving it all, but I know there's probably a lot of us that are feeling like, man, am I doing good enough? Am I letting someone down? I feel like today more than ever, like we're hard on ourselves, maybe harder on ourselves than ever before. Is it just me, or you guys ever feel that way? How many of you in an aspect of your life ever feel like you're just not cutting it? It's just not good enough. And what aspect is that? And I appreciate you being open, and I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I'm really just believing that so many people today feel that in so many ways about so many things, and I want you all to know that maybe you're not alone in that feeling. And I think now more than ever, self-doubt, if you want to call it that, us doubting ourselves, doubting our value, doubting our ability, is at an all-time high. Self-doubt kind of can be manifested or translated into different things. A lot of times self-doubt taken to an extreme, right, is called depression. And looking backwards, when self-doubt is projected forward, we call that anxiety, lack of confidence. All these different words that I think a lot of people are feeling today, maybe now more than ever. And I'm just sitting here asking myself, why is that the case? I don't think that's always been the case. I think if we go back generations, our ancient ancestors weren't sitting around, right, feeling like they were inadequate, feeling like they were not enough, filled with self-doubt. I could be wrong. I didn't live during those times, but I feel like even today it's at an all-time high, even more than, maybe 10 years ago. Any of you guys feel this, or is it just me? And I'm just wondering, why is that the case? What has changed? And I guess the real question, what shifts can we make to get out of that? You guys, I think the root lies in expectation. When I say that word expectation, what does that mean to you, right? Expectation. When I hear the word expectation, what comes to my mind is really a perceived standard created by others or by somebody else. All right, if you think about expectation in its very nature of the word, it's a standard that someone else has set for us. And I think therein lies the problem of maybe some of this feeling like, hey, no matter what we do as parents, as friends, as partners, as entrepreneurs, as leaders, in different aspects of our life, we give it our all. And no matter how much progress we make, we still feel like it's not enough. We still feel like we need to do more. We still feel inadequate. We still find ourselves questioning ourselves. Did I do it right? Did I do enough? Did I do it wrong? What would others think? And I think all those feelings, guys, come down with our perception of an expectation. And where the heck does this come from in terms of an expectation? For those of you guys that have seen my TED Talk, I call this expectation out there the supposed to, right? Because it feels like we've been taught what we're supposed to do, who we're supposed to be, right? We're given this set of standards of what it's supposed to mean to be a leader, what it's supposed to mean to, succeed or achieve success, right? What you're supposed to do, right, to live a quality life. What you're supposed to do to be a good parent. What you're supposed to do to be a man, or supposed to do to be a woman, or supposed to do to be a friend. We have this long list of supposed tos that have been created throughout our life, that when you add up all of the supposed tos in every single direction of everything we're supposed to be and do and have and accomplish, that's a really, really, really large expectation. I have my theories on where this came to be and how we got here. I'm not going to dive into all of them. For those of you guys that haven't watched the TED Talk, go check it out. But in there I talk about where I think it starts, which has to do with a lot of our, let's call them systems. The school system, political system, corporate system, media system, right? These massive public systems that, don't get me wrong, they were put in place probably with good intention at one time, but most of these systems are still operating on the same set of fundamental principles that they've been operating on for decades. Matter of fact, most of the principles for a lot of those systems were actually created way back in the industrial age to create a set of expectations that we felt at that time would produce a great economy, produce a great workforce, right? Lead to the American dream. And I think at one time a lot of those systems worked. But what happened was a shift, and we moved out of that age. And a lot of us are left with systems that were built for a time that no longer exists. And even if the systems today are shifting a little bit, here's the challenge. A lot of the people leading today and leading the systems went through that system decades ago. And you guys, those are our most malleable years, right? When we're young and going through an impressionable phase, and we're in the systems 20, 30, 40 years ago for a lot of individuals in authority today. That's when our belief systems are built. That's when we're ingrained. And here's the kicker, like we're still operating within those set of expectations that were given to us decades ago. And even back then, it was designed for a system that even back then didn't even exist. So I think first layer is we're fighting against a set of antiquated or outdated systems creating expectations for a time that isn't even real. The second thing is we tend to teach what we know or do what was done to us. So when it comes to us as parents, we tend to pass on to our kids maybe some of the same tendencies or beliefs that were passed on to us. Not out of ill will or intention, it's just what we know. If you don't know anything else, right, you're going to pass on what you know. People tend to do what was done to them. People tend to share what was shared to them. History tends to repeat itself unless there's a reason to pause, stop, change, shift, wake somebody up. So I think that's part of the issue. And then I think there's a third piece. Going up hills, getting winded. all the way up, back to the house. And you guys, the third piece today is really the digital age, the age of social media, where every single day, a lot of us are spending a lot of our time scrolling through feeds on Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter. And what are we seeing on all of those feeds? Think about it. On all of those feeds, we're seeing not the struggle people are going through in most cases. We're not seeing the self-doubt, right, or the questions that people are having in their own mind. What are we seeing? For most people, we're seeing the absolute best, most perfect version of themselves. Zero flaws, total perfection, the highlight reel. You know, there's nothing wrong with that, wanting to show your best. I'm an optimist. I think it's worth showing people what's possible, but I think that multiplies the challenge of an expectation, because now all of a sudden we get reinforced all day long that, man, seeing everybody's highlight reel now makes us feel even more inadequate, because we think the highlight reel, which is maybe a small piece, the tip of the iceberg of someone's life, is their entire life. And we don't see everything below the tip for others, but we know everything under the tip of the iceberg for us. And I think maybe that's what's leading or intensifying this expectation today and this growing feeling of self-doubt. I'm not enough. People being overly hard on themselves, no matter who they are. You guys tell me, that's my belief system. I think it comes down to those three things, the systems that are created for a time that no longer exists. People and generations passing on what they were know without making a mental shift to adapt to today. And multiplied and intensified by social media inundating our filters with highlight reels. Really, pieces of information multiplying the issue. Anything else you guys can think of out there as to why this expectation, this supposed to, seems like it's further away than ever before and making us feel maybe worse than ever before? Give me a comment below if there's anything else you think, if you agree, you disagree. And I know what you're asking. You're like, Blake, this all sounds great, but get to the point. What's the solution? You guys know the solution. We got to make a shift, right? We have to shift the script that we're telling ourselves and shift the script that we're passing on to others. So what is the shift we have to make? In my opinion, here's what we have to do. We have to shift from expectation to appreciation. That's the shift. Shifting from expectation, chasing what others have led us to believe we're supposed to do, supposed to be, supposed to have, and shifting away from that perceived, because that's all it is, expectation, to appreciation. Appreciation. A real, genuine gratitude. For what? I'll start with the appreciation for what you do have. Guys, what you have right now, if you're even watching this and listening to this, I know that you have more now than a lot of the population on this planet. Appreciate everything you do have around you today, because there are people in worse situations that are praying to have the things that you have, that are going to bed at night saying, please, 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 can I get to a level you're at today with the things around you today? Appreciate what you have. Appreciate the moment you're in. If you spend too much energy looking backwards, you're going to fill with regret. You're going to get depressed because you can't change it. You got to review so you can extract lessons for the sake of getting better and sake of growing. But you can't spend your life in the rear view mirror. You got to spend your life looking out the windshield. And if you spend your time looking too far into the future with nothing we can control, you're going to spend your life in anxiety, stressed out over 99% of things that are never going to happen anyway. So when it comes to appreciating, what do we got to appreciate? Well, the only thing we really have to appreciate is the moment we're in right now. And you guys, it doesn't matter, how good or bad we think the moment right now is. It's the moment we have right now. It is what it is. And no matter where it is on the spectrum of challenge or obstacle or opportunity, victory or defeat, we can appreciate the moment for what it is, and there's something to extract. I heard a quote the other day that hit me hard. It said, the moment we're in right now could be the best moment of our life if we stopped trying to wait for it to be over. Meaning, sometimes we're so anxious to get to the next, what comes after, gotta do, because it's what I'm supposed to, that we fail to take and appreciate the moment that we're in. And that's all that we really have. You got to appreciate the moment. And then lastly, you can't just appreciate the things we have or the moment we're in, but you probably guessed it. You got to learn to appreciate who you are, who you really are. Not focusing on what you don't have and why you can't do this as good as that person, or don't have this ability as good as that person. Guys, comparison is the thief of happiness. I see people all the time compare, their chapter 2 to somebody else's chapter 20 and minimize themselves. Guys, we're all unique. Every one of us have gifts. Every one of us have our own unique set of talents. And you know what? Yeah, there's a lot of things that for every one of us, other people can do better. But you know what's also true? There's a lot of things in every one of us that we can do better than everyone else. We all were given our unique set of gifts. And we got to stop trying to compete in games or sports we're not even meant to play in. And we got to get familiar with who we really are, our unique talents and gifts that were given to us for a reason. And the reason wasn't just for you. The reason we were all given our gifts, guys, was to make an impact beyond you. And if you're too busy minimizing yourself, too busy feeling not enough, too busy striving to achieve somebody else is supposed to in a direction you're not even supposed to be going, you not only deprive yourself of loving yourself and being the best you can be, but you deprive the rest of us of the impact that you're meant to make. And that's the shift, everybody. The shift from chasing who you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to do to becoming who you're meant to be and what you're meant to do. So guys, that's my thoughts for this morning. If you or anybody you know and love is just beating themselves up for no reason, keeping themselves down for no reason, stressing themselves out for no reason, they got to shift expectation. And expectation is a fake perception that was created around us for appreciation. Appreciation for what we have, appreciating the moment we're in, and appreciating who we really are. And if we make that shift, I think we're all going to be in a better place for ourselves and for one another. Have a great day, everybody. Feel free to share. Stay safe. Love you guys. Look forward to future conversations. Thank you for walking with me. Have a great day.
Hey guys, one last thing. I'm super excited that this new podcast, Alive by Design, just went live, and I want to celebrate by giving away $500 cash to 5 lucky winners over the first 5 weeks. You see, I designed the show to bring you inspired thoughts and fascinating conversations with the world's most impactful people, to provide transformative principles and practices to help you wake up, move toward your meant to, and feel fully alive. And I'd love for you to help me spread the word now. So to enter the giveaway, follow 3 simple steps. Step 1, simply subscribe, rate, and review the podcast on this platform right now. Step 2, find this giveaway video post on my Instagram @BlakeMallon or my Facebook or LinkedIn profile and share it to your Instagram story or your Facebook and LinkedIn profile. When all done, simply comment "Alive" and tag 3 friends on that same post. Weekly winners will be chosen randomly and announced publicly on my Instagram and Facebook story each of the first 5 Saturdays after launch. Would really appreciate your support, so if I've ever given you value, please do me this personal favor and go subscribe now. And if you found today's episode helpful in any way, make sure you share this with at least one friend today. You have the power right now to change someone's day. So send them a text message with a link to alivebydesign.com, or simply copy and paste the link right from this podcast platform. Who's one person you know right now that you want to see succeed, that you want to see grow, that you want to see feel more alive? Shoot them a text with your largest takeaway from today and be a light in their day. And if you were referred here by a friend, make sure you shoot them a text back and say thank you. I'd love to hear from you directly on what you got from today's podcast. So if you're up for it, drop by my Instagram @BlakeMallon and shoot me a DM. And as always, thank you for showing up. I'm grateful for you, and I hope our time together today in some small way helped you feel a little more alive. Until next time.